Velites, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. There is one thing we always talk about Africa, and that thing is the brain. The Africans, what we need is not always to be praying. We need to use the brain because that is what has the power to make informed decisions. According to this Chinese man, Africans don't need people to come into the continent to be regulating us, telling us who we should partner with, what we should be doing, which countries should be our friends. That we need to use our brain to make that informed decision. We should look at the countries that are coming to us, then ask the question, is this country doing right or wrong? What is the strength of this country? What do I benefit if I should go along with these people? Not for us to sit down, for other people to come here, forcing us, telling us, don't be with China, don't be with Russia. Like we've seen them targeting William Ruto simply because Ruto went to China. That this shouldn't be the case. We should rather sit here and use the brain to make our own judgment over situations and what countries present before us. This is what we always say Africa will need. The brain must work. That Africa need to develop. We should look around us. Where are the places that we fall short? Then concentrate on building that.
Africa need to use your own brain power to make up your own judgment. In the world of today, you hear a lot of talks about whether, Africa should be forced to make a choice between China versus the United States. I think that's the wrong choice. The real choice for Africa, as well as for the rest of mankind, is whether the United States is doing the right thing or is doing the wrong thing, or whether China is doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. If the United States is doing the right thing, work with the United States. But if the United States is doing the wrong thing, why should you bother about working with the United States or following its leadership? Similarly, if China is doing the right thing, why don't you want to work with China? And, God forbid, if China is doing the wrong thing, why should you work with China? That means African countries, people in Africa, need to use your own brain power to make a decision first, whether this country or that country is doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Don't be forced by any other country to make a choice which will not serve your fundamental interest. Now, when I traveled a little bit in Rwanda yesterday, in Kigali, let me tell you my real observation. I think Kigali is in better shape today compared with China back in 1978, when China started to reform and opening to the outside world, attracting FDI into China. The philosophical point I want to emphasize is that if China can do this in 46 years, Rwanda and Africa can do it in the coming 4 decades or so. Have faith in yourself. Keep faith in yourself. China is a success story which can be repeated by the great people here in Rwanda and the great people here in Africa. Now, another piece of advice. What is the foundation upon which security should be based, not only for Rwanda but for Africa? Security never exists in a vacuum. Security should be based on several things, which are the pillars. One is maintain stability at home. The other one is keep peace with your neighbors. And the third one, as Deng Xiaoping, for whom I had the great honor to work with before, development is the hard truth. Develop, develop, develop. Power. I understand, even in this great country of Rwanda, you may not have sufficient amount of power. Focus on that. Get that done. that will provide a much better context whereby security for Rwanda, security for Africa as a continent will be better reinforced. Thank you.
Wow.
We saw that Russia looked at all that matters and what they lack, and they built on that. We don't have to sit here waiting for other people to come into the continent to be helping us. Before we have AU meeting, they have to sponsor. Before we have ECOWAS, SADC, EAC meeting, these people have to sponsor. We have to be self-sufficient. And this is what Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are doing best. It's because we allowed ourselves to be told what to do by people. That is the reason to which they always look at us as inferior. They don't see us to be capable of taking informed decisions that can change the narrative in Africa. And when these people finish, Africans will sit there and say, these people are racist. They don't treat us equally. How would they treat you equally when you are not using your brain? When they can sit there and tell you China is bad and you believe it, Russia is bad and you believe it, without you looking around you, asking yourselves, when Africa was down, who was there for Africa? And we don't need people outside of the continent to be telling us today what the Africans need to do best. Even with the youth, like Paul Kagame said, what we can see, our leaders cannot see it. We see fairer than you. And Africa in this 21st century, these are not the lectures that we need from people. These are things we should be able to do them by ourselves. And more importantly, unity. That's why Captain Ibrahim Traore is telling you all the time, stop begging. Stop begging these people. Stop taking assistance from these people, because they are the things they are using to cripple the African. Because you keep begging from them. So if you continue to be presenting yourselves as poor people, why wouldn't they always tell you where to go and where not to go? After all, you go to them for assistance. You go and borrow. Before you breathe, you drink water, you must go and beg them. So he who feeds you, like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, controls you. He who feeds you controls you. And that is why we can never take informed decisions on our own. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are able to do this because they have moved away from presenting themselves as beggars and surviving under the mercy of these people. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in China.